This is the line to check in and leave your baggage here at the airport. And even with my silver status, which is like the second status, I got to just go right past this line up to this counter, and it took me like 3 minutes, if that. So it's just one benefit, one thing that makes it worth it, and one thing that I'm realizing I want to keep doing.
It is Sunday, October 30th, 2022, and on this week's edition of Sunday Sofatime, we're going to be talking about the Royal Caribbean Wonder of the Seas. If you are interested in cruising and watch YouTube videos, then you have probably seen quite a few videos about the icon of the seas in the last few weeks. This is the, well, I don't want to say it's newly announced. We knew it was coming, but now we know a lot of details about it. And I think just about everybody who makes cruise videos on YouTube has now made a video about the icon of the seas, including me. I've enjoyed interacting with you in the comments about the video that I made, and through a discussion and some suggestions of others in the comments. I think a more appropriate name for this ship would be the Long Island Iced Tea of the Seas, because it's like, how many different things can you put in one place and still make it appealing? You know what I mean? The Long Island Iced Tea of the Seas. I think that ship looks fascinating. It's definitely for a certain type of vacationer and a certain type of vacation, but I will be cruising with the Icon of the Seas when I get the chance, so that will be coming sometime here on the Very Unofficial Travel Guides. But my most recent cruise was on the current largest cruise ship, which is also still a very new cruise ship. It's the Wonder of the Seas. And the video that I'm about to show you is a video that I recorded on the last day of our Wonder of the Seas cruise. And it's kind of a sort of a wrap up, a summary of some highlights that you're gonna see in the videos that are coming from the Wonder of the Seas. And speaking of videos coming on this channel, there is still one more video coming from my recent cruise with Virgin Voyages. And I know from looking at the numbers and also from your comments that most of you are not interested in cruising with Virgin, and therefore are also not really interested in watching any more of these videos. And I totally get it, but I was on a Virgin cruise ship. I made videos while I was on there, and I can't just not post them. You know what I mean? Ultimately, there are going to be people who are searching the internet for information about Virgin Voyages. One of my videos is going to pop up, and it will help these people. And for everybody else who already knows that they like to watch all my videos and knows that they do not want to cruise with Virgin Voyages, I can only say, be patient. Wonder of the Seas is coming up, and the next video is going to be a very detailed tour of our standard balcony cabin, which they call a sea terrace on Virgin. And I did make a video about this category of cabin on our first Virgin voyage, but that was just me walking through one of the cabins. I didn't actually stay in it. And now that I stayed in it and have experience like living in one, it gave me a little bit more insight, and there are some highlights and some very interesting things about the design that I see as positive, as well as, of course, some things that aren't really well thought out too. So you might want to watch that anyways. If for any other reason, then
I always try to be entertaining.
So moving on to the Wonder of the Seas, like I said, the video that you're about to see has already been posted, or maybe I didn't say that. I posted it on Patreon, and I just figured now is time to share it with everybody else to kind of let you know what's coming up, what were the things we loved about the Wonder of the Seas and this cruise, and just sort of put it together in a little highlight reel. So like I said, you know what's coming. And I have to say, when I watched it this morning, like I hadn't seen it now since I posted it a couple weeks ago, and so much has happened in those weeks. And then when I watched it this morning and realized how fresh the death of our furry friend Chili was, I got really emotional again. Like, I feel like I've taken so many steps forward since that happened, just by staying here and being busy, and we've been having some really fantastic fall weather. But then watching it again and watching myself talk about it again and thinking about how I felt at that time took me a couple steps back. But you know, I guess that's kind of all the process of when you lose a pet or a loved one or anything. You move forward and then something happens that takes you back, and then you move forward again, and then, yeah. I'm sure you all have an example of that, but I just, to give you a little update about that, we bought a little cat statue, which is holding her remains and got a paw print, and yeah, so she'll always be with us in that way. But just want to let you know we're doing good, and a lot of people have been asking, and at the moment, no, there are no current plans for a new furry friend, but I can't say that I would completely not be interested. But at the moment, we are trying to enjoy the aspect of not having to take care of a pet. And there are a lot of advantages of that too. So without further ado, except for a short commercial break, I would like to present to you my wrap up of our Wonder of the Seas cruise. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done it yet, and make sure if you're watching this on Apple TV, swipe up on that remote and press the thumbs up. If you're on your phone or YouTube on your computer, please press the thumbs up before we get to the end of this video, and have a happy Halloween. We were greeted to a fantastic sunset this morning on our final day here on the Wonder of the Seas. We're back here in Barcelona. Neither one of us slept very well last night. Usually I sleep pretty good on a ship, even when Marcus is here. I know that's gonna sound odd, but when I'm on a ship and alone, that is when I sleep the best. Last night, our neighbor was snoring so loud. Like, I can't believe that we could hear it so clearly through these walls. And yeah, I just was having dreams about cats. Talk about that in a second. But anyways, it was so nice to have just this beautiful sunset this morning. By the way, if you are a member of patreon.com/veryunofficial, first of all, thank you so much for being there. And the members of Patreon are going to be seeing this video like when I get home tonight, probably on Sunday or maybe Monday, as like a special treat, just to see it in advance. And everybody else, you will still be seeing this, but then at the end of the entire series. So if you like to get like express updates and kind of behind the scenes looks at things that are going on here on the Very Unofficial Travel Guides, you can go over to patreon.com/veryunofficial and see if you want to sign up for that. It's always a huge help, and I am so thankful for all the people who are there right now and who will maybe be coming there in the future. So hello tonight, Patreon members, and hello in the future, everybody else. It's just a beautiful morning here in Barcelona, and I'm very thankful for that. This is a great way to end the cruise, even though we didn't sleep very much last night. Luckily, the seas were kind of calm, though. To give you a little wrap up on this cruise, I was surprised. We did have one night where the ship was rocking and rolling, and it was very loud, and there were a lot of creaks and slams and things like that. And I didn't expect that on a ship of this size, that would happen, but it does. So yeah, just FYI. This was a really, really great week, and it was a great way to distract us from what just happened before we left and what is in front of us now. The ship is amazing. These Oasis class ships are, if you're into fun and activities and being distracted by almost too many things to do, the Oasis class ships are the way to go. I can't imagine cruising for just 3 nights on one of these ships. You would leave feeling so like you missed so many things. A couple highlights are the ice skating show. I mean, it was a pretty good show, but just the fact that you can see an ice skating show like that on a cruise ship and it's included in the price of the cruise, that's fantastic. Another highlight was the food in the Windjammer. Royal Caribbean, just, I don't know, they do it right, or they do it in a way that definitely appeals to Marcus and I. The food that we had on this trip was fantastic. We had one not so good experience in the dining room, which I'll be talking about in the video from that day. Otherwise, we did also go eat in the Coastal Kitchen, which is the suites only restaurant. We are staying in a junior suite, and one of the few benefits that you get in comparison to staying in a normal suite. If you stay in a junior suite, is you still get to go to the Coastal Kitchen, and the food we had there and the service we had there was fantastic. We also went to the Solarium Cafe, which is an included dining venue on the ship for everybody. Make a reservation because we had a hard time getting in there. We went there last night and it was good, very good. The food altogether also a highlight, and probably like the main highlight for me was this intense, that's the name of the show, water show in the Aqua Theater. We saw it 2.5 times and I could easily sit through it again. It was so entertaining and moving and visually stunning, and the people in this show, these women are working so hard and are so talented. An absolute highlight. I can't wait to see it again. That's for me a reason to book the same cruise again, is just to see that show with this cast. Wow. As far as ports go, we're just in a bunch of ports that we've all seen before except for La Spezia, and be showing some of the things that we did in the daily videos. One highlight also was going to Naples again and not getting snatched by the mafia after that scandalous video I made about Naples. And we went to do this underground tour of the old aqueducts under the city, and that was also so fascinating, and it only cost 10 euros. It's crazy. Highly recommended. And yeah, anyways, we're on our way to the airport now. It's shortly past 8 in the morning. We're on 2 different flights and we leave from 2 different terminals, but both of our flights leave at 12:45, so that's interesting. So we'll probably take the cruise shuttle bus into the city and then take the train to the airport because we've got plenty of time. And then, yeah, when we get home, we have to decatify the apartment, which is, of course, something neither of us are looking forward to. To catch you up, if anybody doesn't know, Chili, our cat, I had to take her to the vet and help her on to the next stage, or however you want to say it. You know, I had to put her to sleep on the day before the cruise, and then that's how I ended up getting on this cruise, because I basically had canceled thinking I was going to stay home with her, but she's gone now. And in the 25 minutes I had to pack before I had to leave for the airport after getting home from the vet, because I got home from the vet, booked my flight, packed my bags, and then I just had a couple extra minutes. I tried to sort of begin the process. We had a bunch of towels set out all over because she was only on like the ground and she liked to be on towels, and so I put the towels in the wash and stuff like that. And anyways, I started the process, and when we get home we're going to have to like really go through it together, and I think it's going to be a good part of the healing process or whatever, but it's definitely not going to be easy, and it's especially not going to be easy for Marcus. He's having a really hard time with this. I mean, I'm having a really hard time too. Everybody goes through these things differently. And anyways, not to end this on a sad note, like I said, I'm staring at this beautiful sunset. We had a fantastic cruise together. It was a great way to spend this week after what just happened. And I'm going home in a very positive, positive light. Looking forward to getting the rest of the Virgin Voyages videos online. And there's some surprises coming up in those as well. And then in a couple weeks, these videos will be going online too. So thanks everybody for watching this right now on Patreon or in the future on YouTube. And thanks for watching this series, and by now, hopefully, I and you will know what's coming next.
Summertime heat bringing me back to the cold beer sun and the times we had. Something I could never forget is the way you said I love you, babe. Driving in our car, making all our plans, could have pressed pause forever. I don't want to miss a minute.
I'm in the Barcelona airport right now, and I just have to tell you all that I've never really had like a bunch of status with any specific airline, because I always just kind of look for the cheapest flight, and then I end up flying like with Lufthansa and Air France and KLM and American, and like my miles are spread out between so many different airlines. But I'm getting to the point now where I have a silver status with Air France, which is KLM, which is also Delta. I'm starting to realize the benefits of it because this is the line to check in and leave your baggage here at the airport. And even with my silver status, which is like the second status, I got to just go right past this line up to this counter, and it took me like 3 minutes, if that. So it's just one benefit, one thing that makes it worth it, and one thing that I'm realizing I want to keep doing. So this is gonna force me to like book more times with Air France or with this conglomerate, and it might mean paying a little bit more. It might mean having to transfer in airports that I don't necessarily like, but if it's gonna keep this status and keep me climbing in the status, then I definitely want to keep doing it.
Summertime love.